Where's Wally?
Oh, he's probably chatting on the girls again. You know what he's like. Walter.
I cannot believe we're missing football period 3 for this remembrance service.
I know, shouldn't we be letting these poor guys rest in peace? After all, it happened so long ago.
Speaking of football, there's Walter Smith, I think he used to be manager of Scotland.
No, I think that's Walter Sinclair Smith. I think I know his story. Walter! Where have you been?
Chatting up the girls.
At least they talk to me, James.
Yeah, we better get this game started.
Yeah, Mum will kill us if we're like the tea again.
The Smith brothers, like many boys like them, loved football and having fun together. But 3 years from now, the lives of the Smith brothers would drastically change forever. With many members of the Dunoon Grammar School Military Corps, Leslie, John, James and Walter signed up in Glasgow to the 5th Cameronian Scottish Rifles. It was the year 1914 when the Great War broke out. Serving with the 5th Cameronian Scottish Rifles, Walter was stationed in the trenches of the Western Front near Armentières, northern France during Christmas 1914. His unit was one that participated in the spontaneous and unofficial Christmas Truce, exchanging gifts, stories and pictures of loved ones with the Saxon unit of the German army they faced across the battlefield. Several games of football between the opposing armies also took place. The Christmas Truce is regarded by many as being the iconic moment of peace and humanity during one of the most brutal and bloody wars of all time, and has inspired a range of books, movies and songs, including ex-Beatle Paul McCartney's only solo UK #1 Pipes of Peace.
Late in the afternoon of Christmas Day 1914, while British soldiers were mingling with German soldiers on no man's land, a shot rang out from the British lines, accidentally fired by a regular from the Scottish Rifles. A German sniper immediately replied, and instead of firing on where the shot came from, they fired at the first British soldier they saw and shot him through the head. That soldier was Walter Sinclair Smith. He died without regaining consciousness on Boxing Day. Walter was buried by his comrades in a quiet area behind the lines. His grave was marked by a simple wooden cross with a small evergreen tree planted behind it. It is unknown if Walter's 3 brothers witnessed his death or attended his funeral and burial. It is likely, though, as they were serving in the same battalion at the time. This tragedy appears to have brought the temporary truce and period of ceasefire to an end on that part of the front line. Though the Saxons later apologised, the bullet had not been fired by anyone in their unit. It came from a neighbouring Prussian unit.
The war had a profound effect on the other Smith boys. Leslie, the oldest of the Smith brothers, survived the war relatively unscathed, reaching the rank of acting captain. Shortly after the war, Leslie married Barbara M. Sharp on the 19th of June 1919. James was wounded early in the war, suffering a rifle bullet in the arm and sent back to the UK to recover. He returned to active duty, winning the coveted Mons Star. He was taken prisoner early in 1918, spending the final year of the war in a prisoner of war camp. James married Dolly MacLeod on 27th of August 1926. They had one daughter together, Joyce.
James died in 1962, aged 67. He was living in Blairmore at the time.
Johnny joined the Royal Flying Corps, which was an early version of the Royal Air Force. He worked in aerial reconnaissance. However, late on in the war, he was shot down and severely injured. He suffered brain damage and he never fully recovered. He spent some time in Erskine Hospital, a Scottish hospital for disabled ex-servicemen and women. Tragically, he took his own life in 1946. He was 49 years old. Eric, the youngest of the Smith brothers, escaped the worst of the war, but was part of the occupation forces stationed in Europe immediately after the war ended. Eric married his childhood sweetheart, Jean Muir, on returning home.
We took you back 100 years ago, to November 1911, to tell the story of Walter Sinclair Smith and his brothers. But it was 90 years ago that Poppy Scotland was set up to help veterans and their families.
Each year, over 5 million poppies and 8,000 wreaths are produced for the annual Scottish Poppy Appeal by disabled ex-service personnel at the famous Lady Hague Poppy Factory in Edinburgh. Donations raised through Poppy Scotland help thousands of ex-service men and women through specialist services such as long-term care, housing and employment.
The annual Poppy Appeal also ensures that the sacrifice made by Walter Sinclair Smith and others like him is never forgot, and reminds us that they are not just names on brass plaques, but actual people who had similar interests, likes, loves, hopes and dreams that we ourselves hold dear. Then and now we are not so different, lest we forget.